guys, I'm Jared with Stryker Boats, and we just got back from 3 days jet boating up in the Caribou. Now, it is pretty remote, there's no service, and there's hardly anybody up there. Like, I don't think we didn't pass one person the entire trip on the water. So this is some of the stuff that I carry, and we thought we'd break down kind of what we carry. This shifts from time to time depending what we're doing, but as a basic thing, I always have my dry bag set up ready to go. Essentially, it's my go bag. So it doesn't really matter where we're going, I generally try to bring this stuff with me. So just in this kit here, I always carry spare life jackets. Now, these are pretty nice to be carrying for spares, but what I feel they do, I always keep an extra clip on a life jacket, and I also keep one on the outboard that clips to my actual life jacket that I'm wearing. These are really nice. They have a good amount of foam built into them. Now, these life jackets, you just need to have in the boat for them to be considered legal. I wear one as well. So 2 life jackets. If we ever get into trouble, you can throw a life jacket out to someone on top of the life jacket that they're already wearing. It just gives you a little buffer and a little bit higher level of safety. So the other thing I always carry is a battery starter. Now, you just never know out there, whether it's your truck or, you know, you've been gone for multiple days and your truck's in the parking lot, you come back, well, there's no one around. It is nice to have something. So I carry a heavy duty NOCO battery starter. I used to carry a smaller one, but I just found, like, with a diesel truck and wanting some extra cranking power. So this is the one I carry. It's a GB150. And it also has output, so if you do need to charge anything while you're out there, it's just another source of power while you're out. I carry my Milwaukee saw essentially everywhere I go, whether it's quadding, hunting, fishing, camping, doesn't matter. This thing is incredible. It works very well. It's super light. So yeah, this is what's in that bag. Now, I also carry, this is more of like my, I'll just empty it for you and you can have a look. So, as you can see, a varied amount of stuff. I carry some spare fishing lines, some tackle, Aqua Seal is a good one to carry. This here is Gorilla Tape. So Gorilla Tape, essentially, if I was to have a major failure on a river, I've never done it, but I've been out with someone who had their boat swept under a log, like under a log jam, and the corner of it ripped. Well, Gorilla Tape's gonna get you back to camp. This isn't what I would use as a permanent repair, but it's something I would use in the field. I carry just a portable battery charger, and this has all the different connectors, 4 different connectors on there, so depending what you have, these work very well. This will charge my phone a few times. I carry a spare valve tool. This is a very heavy duty valve tool. Actually, I carry a couple spare valves, sunscreen, another one of these. I lost one of these once, and we got back. I just ran some duct tape to pull out where the little clip, and it did work. So another sunscreen, adjustable wrench, a few different screwdrivers, Sika Flex, some marine sealant, carabiners, a scraper, a file. You just never know. I like to have an extra set of gloves if we end up spending the night on the water. TP, very powerful small flashlight, another carabiner, X-Acto knife, pliers, and I carry some ratchet straps. Now, I carry ratchets if we were to ever have a major failure of a tube, and failure, I mean if we ever hit something and we deflated a portion of the tube, I would just pull the side of the ratchet, strap it to the other side. You can essentially run every chamber with no air as long as you fold them up around the floor. You're essentially gonna look like a traditional boat, and you're not going anywhere. You can get back. The other thing, you can also use it to support the outboard to the front. So there's multiple things you can do with ratchet straps. I carry a rag, neck warmer, and so this is a battery I use for my chainsaw. Now, the other thing I have is this Milwaukee power adapter thing. So you can run 120 in there. It's got 2 different outlets, USB-C and regular USB. And this will provide an absolute ton of power, as well as you just pop that off and powers your chainsaw. So I do make sure all this stuff is fully charged before I head out. And now this stuff is like my dedicated to-go bag. So I'll just repack all this stuff. Okay, so moving on to my next bag. This is more just like a clothing type of bag. I always carry, so this is like heavy duty rain gear. This is Kuiu rain gear, the Yukon stuff. It's really good. If you need to spend a night out, I'd like to be wearing this. I have a little basic camp chair. Sometimes it's nice to have a camp chair. And I always carry a few headlights as well. So this is a pretty standard my fishing license, pair of socks, pair of sunglasses, and a hat. So this is fairly standard of my personal items that, you know, my comfort items that I take on a boat that I wouldn't want to be stuck without. Now, as with this, I actually have another first aid kit that that jumps around with me as well. So I always carry a little first aid kit, and it's usually in one of these bags. So the other thing I carry is I always bring a pump, a foot pump. I don't carry the electric pump just in case we always get water in the boat. It's electric, foot pump works well. I just make sure I have it with me. In the boat itself, I carry a bilge pump. So if for whatever reason there's enough water in your boat that it's difficult to just get out by pulling the drain cap, you can bilge pump the water out if you have like an excessive amount of rain overnight or something. I just carry it. I don't use it very much, but it's always there. The other thing you should always consider carrying is a way to get rocks out of your intake. I've had some very stubborn rocks over the years without the proper tools, and it's taken a significant amount longer time than it should to get back going. So this is just a long-handled flat screwdriver that we weld a bar onto. We just make this in the shop here, and this allows you to get up in the grate and use leverage on your intake grate bars to pull rocks out very easily. I do not go jet boating without this. I have multiples of them, but I make sure that it's in every boat. This actually lives in the boat as well as the bilge pump. I never take it out of the boats I'm using. This bag is basically, this is all food. So I carry water supplies and extra TP. So fresh water, multiple kits for fresh water. I carry a stove with all of the little cooking use essentials. I had a little frying pan and a jet boil. So, and the rest of this is full of just dehydrated meals, coffee, a couple fuel canisters, and just things. I mean, I could probably get by for a week out on the water with what I keep in this bag. Wouldn't be ideal, but it would be doable. So along with that, guys, the other thing I always carry is a satellite device of some kind. I've been running the Zoleo for years, and I've had inReaches, I've had satellite phones, I've had just about everything, and I currently still own most of those. Now, since I believe it was last year, the iPhone come out with satellite messaging, and I've needed to use it. And when I'm out in the field and I have real-time communication on my phone is incredible. I find that using my iPhone and doing the satellite messaging thing, I can keep contact with family, friends, and rescue if needed. Again, I have a cooler, a Yeti cooler. We keep all our provisions for the day in there, and it works well. Generally, when I'm out, I carry a shotgun as well. We do a lot of stuff in grizzly country, so I generally carry, we got a little wet there yesterday, so I generally carry a pump action 12 gauge. I just like having it. I like knowing that should we run into a grizzly or otherwise out on the water, it's really nice to have. And I keep 3-inch slugs handy, so I run 3-inch slugs. Sometimes I'll throw the odd 2 3/4 in there, and I carry a spare box as well. Now, of course, you're not allowed to run. I never load anything while we're out on the water, But if we're going for a hike somewhere, I generally will pack the shotgun as well as bear spray. Bear spray is normally in here. We are leaving on another trip in 2 days, and it's not a jet boat trip, so I am moving some gear around. But I just took the bear spray out last night, and a knife that I always carry. Now I do have a few ropes as well, I should mention, and I leave them in the boat, so I carry multiple bow lines. So I have a line here, I have a line over there. And so I use these ropes for tying to the shore. You can use it for pulling the boat around. You can use it for tying things inside the boat. Coming to the back, I have a 12-gallon flat fuel tank that I carry. Now we just did, one trip was 60 miles and the other trip was about 58 miles. And I never went through a 12-gallon tank in a day. I always bring spare fuel, just in case. You never know what can happen out there, and it's better to have a little bit of fuel than not. So now, I probably don't need 10 gallons, but one 5-gallon jug I would highly recommend to carry. So guys, thanks for watching, and I know there's lots of other items that you may carry. Feel free to drop us a line and send us some pics of what you guys do.